Hey, my name is Eric. I'm a software engineer. I've been doing this for about 14 years. I've been coding in Angular for the last 6 or 7 years. Um, but no Angular today. This is more, I've got a monorepo here with 7 different open source libraries. And when I make a new release to NPM, I release them all at once. And this is my little script that does that. And so the goal today is to add a couple new features to this little script just to make my life easier in the future. And I've got here a little to-do list. I want to add supporter help for doing a next tag. So that's when I release, if you are an Angular developer, you are used to this. Angular, it's called a pre-release sometimes. You've got, if you just install a library without any special tags from NPM using yarn or NPM or PNPM or whatever, you're going to get the one that is in NPM with the latest tag. So by default, if I publish, it's under the latest tag, and by default, when you add it to your project, it's the latest tag. Now I can add other tags to do pre-releases that you have to opt into. So a common convention is to have one called next. And so if you add, in this case, like AppState, if you add slibs/appstate at next, you're going to get my pre-releases. It's sort of like opting into the alpha or beta. And so I do that sometimes, especially when I want to try out my own release with some of my other projects. Even though I have a full test suite for everything in this, sometimes I just want to try it with a real life project of something else I've made before I make it a latest release for the all of my users to get by default. And my publish libs script here doesn't do that. It uses the default only. So let's dig in and see what we can do. First thing I want to do is sort of make this a bit, make it harmless. Have it maybe just print out the command that's going to run instead of actually running them. And then I can run it freely while we play with what commands we want it to run. So let's go in here, and instead of calling exec sync, when we tell it to run a command, all it's actually going to do is console log it. So then, if I run this script, that'd be what? npx tsnode. Oh wait, no. I have a little wrapper for this. Yarn tsnode. Where's my scripts directory? Yarn tsnode. That gives me another idea for something I could make a little bit better right now. Yarn tsnode, and then it's going to be scripts/shared. Done. Well, that doesn't seem right. It didn't print anything. Oh, not shared. Publish libs. Scripts/publish libs. There we go. So we enter a one-time password, and it runs those commands in sequence. Cool. So that's a nice little test scenario. Now, I have recently learned, must have been in a different project, I have been passing in this -o blah 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 and having to run all my scripts through this, and I learned a better way. So let's start by just trying to improve that. Use that learning. Let's see, we add a tsconfig.json so that it will by default we could grab this. I'm sorry, I'm realizing this may not be as great as I thought. I'm remembering everything I learned before, and This will allow me to not pass in this, but I think only if I'm in this working directory. Let's run that. I think it's going to fail. And you'll see why. Yeah, it failed. You'll see why I put all that there. I like to write my scripts in TypeScript. It could be a shell script. It could be, well, it could be anything. It could be any script, right? And shell script might be a little easier if you're familiar with shell scripts than actually writing TypeScript and using like having to make special commands just to run a command line argument. Whereas in a bash script or whatever, you just write that directly. But I like to write it like this because then I have a nice, anyone who can contribute to my open source libraries is going to have to know TypeScript because that's what the whole thing is written in. And so this just makes it very accessible. I know that anyone working in this repo is going to be able to understand what's going on here. Is not going to have to learn a new language, really. I mean, scripting language, it is. You don't. A lot of scripts you write don't really feel like a language, but they certainly can be if you get way fancy. And to be honest, I'm not great at command line stuff. I'm a point and click guy. I know that's, I lose a lot of developer cred with among a lot of some of the crowd out there anyway. But I'm very, I don't feel self-conscious about it. I feel very comfortable with my skills as a software engineer. It's just not in, scripting or really even command line stuff. I mean, enough to get by. Anyway, this is not about how well I can write command line stuff. This is about being able to improve this script. So let's just get on with it. Okay, we'll come back to that when we're ready to run this for real. Now we can focus on this file and being able to run it. So what was I saying? I like to write this in TypeScript, but I find this really ugly looking thing necessary because otherwise it doesn't know how to interpret the import statement at the top. TS node by default uses like require, I think, or something other than this ES6 style import. And this option is what turns it on to be able to interpret that correctly, and now we need to get it to use this option. And so one way would be to specify here the project is scripts/tsconfig.json. And the other would be to set the working directory to the scripts to be inside scripts, and then it would pick this up automatically. However, I think I probably wrote some of these scripts with the idea that the project root was the working directory, so I don't think I want to mess with that. This is not a huge improvement, but at least it's easier to understand than looking at this. You're like, what the heck is going on there? Small improvement. I'll take it. I'll take it for now. So this works again. And what we want to do is start supporting the tag next. So I don't even know off the top of my head how to look at, so we could pass in a command line argument to this. Oh, we could just pass any command line arguments from this on to the publish command, and then in here I could write a second npm script like I'm liking this, publish libs. I could do like npm like pre-release and pass in tag next. Isn't that what I said? Yeah. And then I just need to get a hold of these in my script, insert them like here, whatever is passed in, and that should cover it. Then I run this for a pre-release and this, and then that's even great because, oh wait, no, I still want this to run before either one. So before I push them up to npm, I want to make sure I've rebuilt them with the latest code. This will take the code I wrote in here. This is where the source code lives, but here is where it is deployed out of. So it compiles from here into here, and then it, this. Oh, here. I published npm out of this dist directory. So, I mean, I could just do that. Pre-npm pre-release. But now I'm not liking that solution so much anymore. What else can we do? We could somehow, I wonder if there's a way. Oh, wait a minute. I could leave this alone. Okay. Yeah. Let's not think about that for a bit. I could come in and instead do it from here. Because I run things, like I said, I'm a point and click kind of guy. I don't actually usually run these scripts from the command line. Normally, I use one of my launch configurations I have built into WebStorm here. So git publish, no, npm publish, I could make another one of those and call it npm pre-release. And pass the argument in from here, tag next. Then that's still going to accomplish the same kind of goal. And I think from here it's going to look the same either way. I just didn't have to repeat all that stuff. So let's try and figure out how a node script, node get command line input, arguments, parse them, pass them. Ooh, Stack Abuse. That sounds like one of those sites that just like mirrors all of, copies all of the stuff from Stack Overflow and puts their own ads on it. Command line argument in Node.js. I'm very new. Yeah, that's exactly what I need. This is a total noob question. Process.argv. And that gets it as a vector, as an array of pre-separated out arguments, but I want to put it into a string here. I could join that back together with a space, right? Let's just do that first. Process.argv.join and see how many tweaks we have to make to that solution first of all. So we built all of our libraries, and then we run this with the tag, and now it's running TS node with our tag, and so we enter that, and oh boy, that is a long argv. We actually want to slice that starting from 2, I guess. That's looking about right. Maybe I'd need to leave it like that then. I was thinking if I could just get a string, that just already has this, and I don't have to join it back together, that would be what I want to say. That would feel more elegant. Like it would look a little bit more like I knew what I was doing, even though I don't. Um, but if that argv, you know, it has the actual program you're running actually, and then the name of the script and all this, then I don't want that whole string, obviously, and I don't want to parse that out myself. So yeah, I mean, that feels all right. That feels all right. Let's maybe make this into a variable. So this would be something like extra args. It doesn't need to be in the loop. That can honestly be up here. Although it looks like maybe like that. Looks like this is how sort of where I put my script. I've got a constant up here, but okay. Tag next, and then if I do it from here, the actual publish, yeah, that's fine. There's an extra space there, but that doesn't hurt anybody. Great. I'm just going to rename this while I'm thinking of it. So this is npm. I'm going to leave that. I feel like that's going to be a little easier for me to spot what I want when I go to do this in the future. And then, I don't know, I feel like chronologically that feels more like that's what I should do. Oh, and you know what? There's a similar issue with just the Git side, because when I do this standard version, I need to tell it to make the tag, generate the changelog with that next in there. This standard version does a couple things. It generates a changelog automatically based on all the commits you've made since the last release, and then it makes a tag in Git, which shows up in your library. What's this? Oh, that turned green. That was from before. Great. Where did they go? Here. So if you make a tag, it shows up in GitHub under this releases. And so I like to do that too. So we need to set up the tag name to have the next in it, and the changelog. I'll even pull that up. Changelog. Because I did this by hand last time. I'm trying to write the scripts to improve that. So we want the next to show up there and in GitHub in those releases. And those are managed by standard version. And then we also want it to show up under that tag in npm when we publish it, and that's the step we just did here. So I feel like that step is looking good. And I need to work on a similar thing for standard version. And I have to go relearn how to do that. I think you pass in like a -- pre-release or something. So let's go find the docs for standard version. And did they call it a pre-release? Yeah. Yeah, -- pre-release space, and then for us it's going to be next instead of alpha. So that's easy enough. I can just do a similar thing here. That's the git publish script that does standard version. Oh, but I don't want the docs to run. That's a difference. Okay, but I think we can handle this. We want git publish to run, but without the pre-hook. And I think there's just an option there's an option to run npm scripts without the hooks. I have to look that up now too. So anyway, here let's do dash dash pre-release next. This is going to be a git publish pre-release. Do I like it like that or do I like it like that? I'll do that for now. Ooh, or that. Whatever. Oh, that's not shared in the repo. I always commit my launch configurations to Git so that when I install this on a new machine, or if I have someone else to collaborate and they're using WebStorm, they get all the same things. Pre-release, that was one word, or was there dash? Yeah, one word. What's the default if you don't specify? Oh, it just doesn't put a word there at all. Angular, my libraries, you can use it with, if you're not doing a framework at all, you can use it with RxJS, or you can use some of them. AppState, JS Core, and Microdash work with no dependencies, except maybe each other in some like. And then, so anyone who's doing JavaScript development might find something useful in those three. And then if you're using RxJS, you can add this one and get some more like utility functions and stuff. And then if you're using Angular, you can get these next two. But I keep all the version numbers locked with Angular, and I sort of look to them to sort of set the standard, the community standard for me to do things like these pre-releases. They use the next tag. I think they use alpha too at times. I don't need to be that fancy, but I know they use the next tag, and so I will do the same thing. I feel like that's going to work, but I'd love to test it. Oh, there's some way to run standard version with like a dry run. Is that what they call it? Dry run? Dry run mode. Dash dash dry run. I'm going to make a temporary commit just in case things go wrong here. Because standard version is going to like add, if that dry run flag doesn't get in there correctly, if I just misspelled it or if I put it in the wrong place or something, and it does a real run, a wet run, I don't know what to call it, it's going to make commits, it's going to put a tag, and then I'm going to have to undo all that. And I'm going to find it easier, I'm going to feel more comfortable if right now I just make a commit, and then I'll amend it later with the new stuff. Oh yeah, we do want all of that. Our three new launch configurations? No, I don't think I want 3 new launch configurations. NPM, where does the NPM pre-publish come from? Didn't I rename it? Oh, pre-release, git publish pre-release, npm publish pre-release, and then just pre-release? No, I don't see npm pre-release in this list. I think that's the one when I renamed it. I don't know why it's still sticking around the file system. I can't even delete it? Can I delete this one? Yeah, there's a delete there. There's no delete there? Roll back. What does that do? No. What? What are you doing in here? I only have 2 in here. Let's get those added. Okay. Something got weird in WebStorm's Git integration when I renamed that thing. But now we just have the, I think we should just have the 2. Okay. Strange. Great. This is just going to be a temporary, okay, let's just do, in fact, let's just go to a new branch. So we're not like having to reset master all the time or anything like that. So we're going to say work in progress. Before, why is that underscore? Oh, when I type space, it automatically puts an underscore because you can't have spaces in branch names. Thanks, WebStorm. You redeemed yourself. I was mad at you earlier. Work in progress. Before running, before standard version dry run. Okay, so we're gonna, oh my gosh. I think I've been doing this for too long. That was the branch name. I thought I was typing a commit message. Let's copy that for the branch name and rerun and rename this to improve publish script. And now let's commit with that message that I just typed out. Okay. Now let's do our dry run, which I think was, yeah, this git publish, the git pre-release. We have the git and the npm. We run those as, I run those as two separate steps because I like to do I like to get everything set, and I read my change log and look at what version, if it did a major or minor version bump and stuff. And then after I've done all of this step, I manually trigger the next step, which is actually pushing up to npm. And I will also in that process do a, everything is just in my local git. At that point, I'll also push up to GitHub. All right, so I want to run this guy and see what the dry run shows me. All right. So what did we do? We did a next.1. So it did do the next here. That's perfect. Oh, but it's running the scripts. Right. We want to find a way to not update the docs if I'm just doing a next release, because I want the docs in GitHub to match the default version that most people are going to have installed. Great. So how do I, oh no, that was, that's like npm run without pre. Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. Open? What do you mean open? I thought there was a way to do this. What? Maybe Yarn has it, but not npm? Or just no one commented with the solution on that GitHub issue. npm skip hooks. Oh, there's a package in npm.js called disable post install script. Ignore scripts. That's what I thought I was remembering. Let's give that a shot. So if we just add this on here, oh, that would not be an argument to the script. That would be, what, a node option? I don't know where to put that. Oh, not there. I think I want it to show up. Yeah, where do we do this? npm install. Oh, maybe I do. Maybe I just put it as if it was a script option. Let's find out. No, it still did all the docs. It still ran the pre-hook. Right? Let's just test that and make sure. If I do this, I shouldn't see any of this yarn docs business. Right. And that's the effect I want to achieve, but only if I'm doing a pre-release. I suppose I could make this script detect the pre-release flag and just return. So I'll make that my backup plan. I still feel like this should... Maybe this doesn't work if you're trying to run an actual script. Like, run this script and also ignore the scripts, please. And NPM is like, okay, done. Yeah. All right, I'm going to poke around a little more. If nothing turns up. Oh, NPM publish ignore hooks. Maybe that's more like what I'm doing. Huh. Let's go read the actual ignore scripts. npm ignore scripts documentation and see what it says. Oh, how do I get to official? Oh, is it a flag specifically to npm install? Ah, it's not a generic. It looks like it's not a generic flag for any npm thing. It's specifically a flag for install. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. That means I do have to go to my backup plan. Okay, that's fine. No worries. We look for, let's go to the docslibs script and say if arg process.argv includes pre-release, return. We don't update docs for pre-releases. Oh, what's your deal? A return statement can only be used... Oh, here I go being a node noob again. Return from node script. How do... or exit? Maybe it's like some sort of exit function. How to access a return value from a node. How to exit in Node.js? Oh my god. Oh, process.exit? Or I tell you what I can do. I can be consistent about putting this in a run function. Because that's what I did for the other script anyway, because I wanted it was asynchronous, and I wanted to be able to use async await. So I can return from a function. I know how to do that. And then we'll just run. What's your deal? Oh. Okay. So now if we pre-release, oh, it still did all the docs. It still did all the docs. Why did it still do all the docs? There is a way to run this in the debug mode in WebStorm that I have done for some sort of scripts like this before, but I don't remember how to do it right. We're not getting it passed in. Why aren't we getting it passed in? Either these don't get it or it tacks it on the end. What if we didn't have this part, just as an experiment? Is it because it sort of adds it to the end like it's a string? Oh, come on. Come on, guys. Learn how to read comments in a JSON file. The world would be better. No, it still doesn't even pass it there. So it doesn't get passed to pre-hooks. It only gets passed to, now is it here? Oh, you're killing me. npm pre script arguments. Pass command line argument to npm pre script. Yes, please. Yep. There is no way to pass args in the way that you are describing. Well, I don't buy your explanation, but I buy your conclusion. Aha! Run script arguments are also passed to prescripts. Oh, and this is a... I noticed that the new feature where it is possible to pass arguments to run scripts also passes the arguments to prescripts. Is this intentional? It is intentional. There's a solid argument that they should only go to the specific scripts for which they were intended. Well, I intend it to go to the prescript, okay? So, boo. So, plan B didn't work either. How else could we accomplish this? We can we could make, instead of making this a pre-hook, we could make this, make it a pre-hook through the launch configuration instead of through here. So instead of having this be a pre thing, we'll say build all docs, update, I don't know, all docs. I have this docs here. Why do I even have that? Oh, because I think I call it from, I call it from here. That's kind of silly. Let's npx type doc. Get rid of that and just call this docs. It would make sense that yarn docs updates all your docs rather than, yeah. Let's make sure I don't call that anywhere else in my code, but I don't think so. Yeah. Great. So now this certainly shouldn't be doing any of the docs. And instead, in this one, I can add an npm script for, oops, docs. And we forget all these changes because those just didn't work. Oops, not all of them. npx type doc. So if I push play right now, it's actually going to rebuild my docs. And I guess I can do that and just roll them back using git. So that did, oh, wait a minute, that didn't even do a dry run. This is why I went to I committed my changes and went to a new branch, because I just ran a different script where I had not specified dry run. And I think if we look at our Git history, we're going to see that we now have a new release ready to deploy. And I have to remove the tag. It didn't commit this change. And okay, good. Did it commit any? And it didn't commit this change. It only committed the changes to the docs. That's great. So I can just do a reset here. Let's do a soft reset. And then we can in the docs we can do some kind of git rollback. Let's roll back any changes. Oops, any changes. Oh yeah, and bumped the version numbers of all the package.json. We don't want that. We don't want a change log thing. What is this? Okay, we do want most of these changes except that one. That should stay at the old. This we don't want any changes for. This one we do, and this one has the before runtime. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we'll roll back all those package JSON changes, and now the right. So let's okay, so that showed me, the test still showed me what I was trying to see, is that this works, and it does run the pre-hook of doing the docs, the pre-hook. And now I should be safe to do this one, git publish, because this one actually has the dry run flag. And we did not run any docs, we just bumped the version number of everything. And then we should see it's still a .next version. It's not an 11.2.1, which is what we saw before, I assume. It's the next. It's the next. Great. And updated the change log with all this. Got the features in there. Okay. Perfect. So a pre-release for that works with the dry run. Everything's great. And then I review those changes. I do this pre-release, which should also have a dry run. No. Oh, which is using this neutered run command. So that's just going to simply build all my stuff, and then let me enter a one-time password and call with the next flag. Great, 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 great. So to be consistent, I suppose I should not use a prehook for this either. It will make this like build all. We'll make a separate. This one should run build. Oh, build lib. Wait, what? Maybe I already had that. Ah, this was. Oh, I have this repeated, the exact same line in two places. Okay, so I can just get rid of that. I already have this build libs that I can call as my WebStorm powered prehook. Build libs. Which is also neutered, so I should be able to again run this freely and see that it does the build. There was all the building, and now that's the one-time password stuff. But I'm also going to want to do the same build for this one. Unlike docs, I do need to have the most recent code built to go into npm. So now if I do the pre-publish, it does all the building. Yes, there's build libs running, and now we've got this, but now it has the next tag, whereas when I did this one, no next tag. Lovely. I'm happy. That's going to do it. So let's clean all this up and get this committed. Get this right back to. Oh, right. Yeah. I want to just compare this with master and have it no change from master. There we go. And then this guy hopefully is going to actually work. I don't want to. I guess I should actually test that. I'll amend the commit, and then I'll actually run the docs and make sure this command. Oh no, we did actually run that accidentally, and it did work. Okay, good. So this change we've tested. There is no. Oh no, this was changed in the previous commit, where we added the extra args here, and that seemed fine. So let's amend our previous commit, saying, okay, now this is going to be the commit message that ends up actually in master by the time I'm done. So I need to actually go, this is a chore. Don't bump any version numbers of anything because of this. Don't show up in the change log, at all. Because users, this is only for me. Users who use my library don't need to see this in the change log. And what did we do? Improve release scripts to support pre-releases with the next tag, or with the tag next. So we kind of refactored a bit the way we do pre-hooks. That's putting it back to the way it is in master. Yeah, I like that. So let's commit that, and then we can get that back into master, push it up to GitHub, and that'll be a wrap. So I want to go to master, and I want to merge this in, which should be a fast forward. Yeah, no actual merge commit because it was already based off of the tip of master. We can delete that old branch and push it to GitHub. Great. That'll be nice for the next actual release and all of them in the future. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you all have a good evening, or if you're watching later on YouTube, a good day or afternoon or whatever it is for you. I will put links in the description below to the code that we just wrote and to the library that that we were just working in. And yeah, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. Currently, I'm streaming on Tuesday evenings, 7:30 Eastern Time, and other times randomly whenever I feel like it, as I did tonight. So thanks again. Happy coding, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.